I know many of you guys have already started university or you're about to start university. So I thought it'd be time to let you guys know the 10 things I learned in college. I graduated last June with a bachelor's degree in communication at UC Davis. I was a transfer student, which means that I spent 2 years at a community college and then finished off the rest of my 2 years at a university. So with that being said, let's get on with it. Go to your counselor. I don't care if the appointments are booked back to back. You go drop in on office hours, just be a pest. Your counselor is going to be the person that sets up a roadmap for you so you know exactly what you need to do in order to transfer or graduate. I highly recommend seeing your counselor at least twice in your academic career to make sure that he or she hasn't grazed on over any details. Don't be scared to sit in the front of the class. It makes it less tempting to goof off or gossip with your friend or fall asleep because the professor is standing right in front of you. It forces you to listen to the lecture and just absorb what's going on in class. Turn your complaints into a productive question. We've all had that class with that crappy professor who's completely incompetent, and sure, it feels good to kind of vent it out with your friends and your classmates, but it's totally unproductive if you're not doing anything with that frustration. Type out and pinpoint exactly what doesn't make sense to you. It's okay if the question is really broad, just make sure you refine it, because pinpointing exactly what you don't understand is gonna help you move out of that black hole you're in and make the class a lot more understandable. Remember, your professor is a human being and he or she can't read your mind, so you have to ask the questions. Write in your book. I know textbooks are very costly and pretty much an investment, but what's the point in paying $200 for that book if you got a D in the class? So what works for me is I have to physically write in the book. So let's say I see a paragraph, I'll draw a line and then I'll condense the information and just write a short summary about it. Even if it's just a few bullet points on what happens, these little notes are going to help you kind of organize the information and just retain a lot more because you're interacting with the text as opposed to just passively glossing over the words. After doing this method, I found that my reading comprehension just shot up and my grades really improved because I was challenging myself to see if I actually understood what I was reading. Take large projects and divide them into smaller tasks. Once you hit your upper division units, a lot of professors, they don't assign busy work. You're not going to get something to turn in every day, most likely. You're going to have 2 or 3 projects or exams that are going to define your grade. So a lot of projects can seem very daunting and just really overwhelming. In my junior year of college, I had this stats class and our grade revolved around one huge solo project. That project gave me so much anxiety that I had to use that energy to work on that project day by day, or else I just felt physically uncomfortable. And that last tip kind of bleeds into this one, which is make to-do lists. So let's say the professor assigns me a 20-page research paper, all with legit sources and perfect grammar and etc. How am I going to do this? One day I'll assign myself to find 6 to 10 just legit credible sources, and that's it. I don't even read it, just find the sources and just call it a day. The next day, I'll actually read maybe 2 or 3 of them to see if there's any information in there that I can use for my paper. And the next day, I'll read some more. And the next day, I'll comb through some facts. Just taking this day by day and making little to-do lists, either on your phone or just on a planner or something, whatever works for you, is gonna help you really break down these huge projects. Go to class. I know it's so tempting to just stay in your warm bed and watch Netflix all day, eating Cheetos, making some ramen. Just go to class, because what fueled me to get out of bed was knowing that I was paying thousands of dollars to learn something. Learning to deal with homesickness. When I first transferred to Davis, I really struggled with being homesick. For the first 3 months I was fine because everything was just new and sparkly and fun. But after that 3 months kind of passed, I felt really depressed. And what made it worse was when I went to my original home, like my parents' house where I grew up, that didn't feel like home either. It just felt both like familiar and foreign at the same time, and so I was just in this weird limbo zone. I'd say watch Garden State to know exactly what I'm talking about. I couldn't tell you what helped me get past the feeling of homesick other than just waiting it out. Just know that a lot of us have felt this way too, and just hang in there. Know what environment works best for you. When I was working at home in my dark room in Davis, I got nothing done, literally. I just would go on Tumblr or YouTube all day and just scroll and watch stuff. It was just a time vampire in my room. I got, I don't want to talk about it. I found my favorite place to study, which was the Shields Library on the 2nd floor, because that room was massive, brightly lit, and I was just surrounded by other people who were studying too, which kind of encouraged me to keep on going. So find a place that really gets you in the zone and stick to that. Your grades do not define you as a person. Growing up, grades felt like a huge reflection of my own self-worth, and if I had bad grades, I would see myself as a bad person, and that's definitely not the case. It was probably because I was raised with the constant pressure to do well in school, and if I didn't, I just felt really shitty about myself. I was really, really hard on myself to get good grades, and that pressure actually crippled me from getting the grades that I wanted. This lesson hit me when I was a senior in college, and this is when my grades shot up, because I just didn't give a fuck anymore. I went to class wanting to learn something as opposed to just trying to remember exactly what the professor said, wondering what's going to be on the exam. I was just a lot less anxious, and I was actually happy to go to class. And that's when I started really absorbing information and just participating in class. I was just a lot less anxious and so much happier after I learned to let go. You're going to learn a lot in college about the world, about other people, about yourself, and you're gonna probably hit the lowest of your lows in college and you're gonna bawl your eyes out. But you're also gonna have a freaking blast. It's a trade-off and it's totally worth it. And it doesn't matter where you get accepted to, where you got rejected, because college is what you make it. You can go to an Ivy League school and learn nothing because you didn't want to learn anything. Know that every college experience is different. Some of these tips may not help you, or some of them might be common sense. But for a lot of people, common sense isn't very common, and these tips I had no idea, so I wish someone told me this when I was going to college. I'm also gonna do a college Q&A video in case I skipped on over some questions or I didn't talk about a subject that you wanted me to elaborate on. So leave me a comment with your question. If you can, please be concise. And if you have an Instagram, my username is I'mJenim. This is also the handle for my Twitter as well, in case you want to tweet me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.